Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can't do this without putting it on forever and ever and ever. I went on and on and on. Didn't realize how long I was recording. Wound up deleting it because I don't like to have where I go on and on about things. And well, anyway, I don't. I I have to say that the whole world has made a lot of improvements, but every time we make a better advancement for a lot of things, we always have to step backwards, which is really a shame. And, it really sucks. And I do have to say that I've been doing this a lot longer than anybody who just now claims they've been doing this for about 10 years. And I'm not trying to do this like I'm in a competition, but I've never really thought about it either. And it won't show that much on here, and I don't know what pre-qualifies or even qualifies at all. Uh, in terms of the eyes of how many people even count to consider that. But for me, just sitting here in general, uh, the many videos that I've uploaded. See, I didn't start here. No, no, no. This was my first start here on this channel. And yes, I did have another channel by the same name, but it was called Archive because I was trying to do it as a way to start archiving my whole Facebook things. And I was going to, use that one instead of creating this. And I want to create this because I lost access to that. Also, I may have lost access to the Treat Evil show. That was something that a lot of you probably won't know because you're here on this channel. Stop that. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Anyway, it has something to do with two people that I'm not going to say that, yeah, I held on to every word, but I will say that eventually I did start noticing that views went up and down or whatever. Like a lot of videos didn't get anything, and there's one that got a couple of them, and then whatever. Like it started to matter to me. It really did for a long time. And then it's like, it really shouldn't. But how many views I get on videos. I mean, if I did this for myself, I'm here to enjoy this, not worry about whether or not somebody's actually watching my videos. Although, even if it's just one person besides me watching it, that's fine and dandy. Because I enjoy my own videos. And I have to say that I am a guide. I've gotten quite good at it. And I'm good at it in terms as well as having more experience, but, you know. So, and I just gotta say that as many years comes to a conclusion that, I have enjoyed the journey. You know, I did one of the silliest things I swore that I was never gonna do. As a matter of fact, I didn't even think I was gonna get into it, and I started to think that when I did, I was gonna start doing this with someone else who actually passed away on me. And he said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it with you," and that didn't work out. So I did things for many years on my own, and I'm just still kind of retired, but I'm not like where I'm retired and I don't make videos at all, or so far in between like I did start doing for a while there. Whoa, there's some extraordinary stuff that I could be getting right now. Just so many things I needed to focus on in my life, and yeah, I did take a break where I didn't even, when I retired, then it took me about like 2 to 3 years before I actually even bothered to create this channel, believe it or not. And now it's going on maybe 2 to 3 years since I've been doing this YouTube channel. But as far as YouTube in general goes, you know, if I add it together, it's been like on and off for like more than 10 years. And I gotta say that, and if I added even more to watching and whatnot, and I don't mean like my channel, but like other people I watched over the years. Yeah, a lot longer, but just doing YouTube itself myself on my own channel. At this point, it would be channels, but that. And if I add all the videos together that I've got here, not just in private, but on the other channels, it's a bunch of videos. It's not enough to be anywhere near or close to what others already have uploaded. But yeah, that's a lot of videos. I mean, I'm not kidding. So, I mean, really, when you think about, that, it's really hard to say, you know, you know, and, I mean, I've been uploading YouTube videos for like, um, so many decades now, you know. It's not funny. I mean, I'm serious, you know. Never in my life did I ever think I was going to be getting this far or continuing on. Nothing like that. And I have to say, I mean, you know, it's a life. It's not just a life. It's just me having fun and enjoying it. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, you know, all YouTube does have its many advantages and disadvantages, all this and that. But you know, and this is really my last chance to do anything. I mean, regardless of whether I get on BitChute or not, like if something happens to YouTube or I lose access to this is it. There ain't no more. I mean, I might sit there and still continue every now and again and watch other YouTubers until YouTube completely fades out itself anyway. Then, that's just the way it's going to end up being. That's it. I mean, that's the only way I'll officially be able to stop, period. You know? I mean, and I'm not talking about like retiring where I mean, well, there's actually another way, but I'm not going to get into that. But I mean, like, in other words, retiring to the point that I don't do any more videos, period. Or I just stopped uploading. The thing is, it's ironic that after the many years that people lose their voices. But then, see, again, a lot of people that are popular or doing voices and then they stop doing voices. So it was like a dying fad. Me, I'll continue to do voices because I like to share it. That was one of the main purposes for this channel. Um, And then when I got into Avion, I was like, I could be a better guy than that because there's so much I can teach you that no one has ever done. But you might see like guides and stuff, but they were like only written out. And if there were videos of it, it would have been so far way under the radar that it wasn't even funny. And I mean, even the most popular people that have actually said that they love old classic RPGs and 2D and stuff like that, they're not into it because it's underrated. And that's what Evian is. It's an underrated game. And it became so much even worse than that when they stopped making anymore. So Avion will ever forever be close enough to my heart that I've always loved it. Now, give or take, did not start out with Avion for loving games and whatnot. I started out with like anybody else. The difference is that I missed out on a lot of games growing up because I came from a poor family. I mean, it's true that when you think about it, that you know, I did have quite a few games I played that weren't mine, but the ones that I officially started out with for owning were Final Fantasy, Mystic Quest, and Zelda: A Link to the Past. That's how I got started. Now, it's not to say that I play other games or even try to beat them. I don't think I actually beat one back then. But Mystic Quest, I have beaten so many times. Zelda, I have beaten many times, but it's a chore to do, or can be. And just to beat the whole entire game, no matter how long it takes. And it's like anybody else, I do like to take my time and enjoy it, but the thing is, when you think about such games, they're like two of my favorite games. Now, that's the way it was for a long time, and I didn't even know Suikoden existed. And then when it existed, I found out that there was actually another version of it. Not just because it's Jinso Suikoden, but because it was actually literally called Jinso Suikoden. But apparently, it was only released in Japan. And it was on, believe it or not, a different console. It was, I think it was on Nintendo or Super Nintendo, I can't remember now. When I first looked up the game to even try to find it, that's how I found out about that. And I'll be honest with you, other than I haven't already been, but RPGs and whatnot, I love doing. I'm not going to promise to do all the every aforementionable demos and stuff because nowadays it's hard to even find those. And even though that they were still kind of around before things kind of really advanced to the point that you might see a few in between here and there. Yeah, I was not fortunate enough to get them. So, yeah. It's a hard time in my life to try and get the demos. The closest thing I ever got for demos was on PlayStation, and that was about just playing it. And I'll tell you, playing it for me, that's how I did demos back then. Is everybody? Well, it was actually I said every PlayStation, but it actually came out to be that was not true. It was almost a lot of PlayStations that actually went out there and came out with the idea of having these like magazines or whatever you want to call it with their own first copy of demos to games. I never even heard of a Final Fantasy VII demo until Necroscope, and I'll tell you, he said he played it. I think it was him. Anyway, Where the hell am I going? I don't even remember now. Yeah. Um. Anyway, that was the thing about you know Necroscope, and I mean demos. I like to like there was PlayStation Underground. Actually, I don't. But I know for a fact that I never actually played the Underground one series, but I did see previews for it on the actual CD itself, which is kind of ironic considering that in the time of the era, that people just did not consider that to be the official demo or demos to be playing. So I said everybody, and well, I don't know why I mean everybody, but like a lot of people just didn't. The official demos were the ones you actually played and didn't quite beat the game because at some point it would cut off or say game over because they would stop. That's how demos would run and function. That's the way it is. Um, there was like a lot of them just didn't have a believe it or not a testing or say thank you for playing. Actually, none of the games I actually played for demo back in my day even said thank you for playing. Uh, there was ones that were for official games that came out that said that, but what we didn't get were games that. Oh, I just saw something. Yeah, that right there. You can't see it, but I can. But yeah, I mean, literally, they did not say that. But there was games that came out later on that did, and then they said back in the old days there was. Well, unfortunately, I never got that. I was not fortunate enough to get that. Even if it was for free, it wouldn't have mattered. It's technically not free because someone had to pay for getting there to get to it. So, and a lot of people didn't think about it at a lot of times of stuff like that. So that is kind of a thing. And I mean, you know, and I mean, literally over the years, I gotta say that I've actually enjoyed a lot of games, played them on my own, beaten them. A lot of them games I didn't. Not to say I didn't enjoy it in general. It's just trying to beat it because I couldn't get very far. And that is a thing that a lot of people have no idea of the struggles of that because it is totally real. And honestly, no one will ever know or understand the struggles of being like, when you're just one trying to completely play it on your own and you can't beat it, even if you try to record it. But let's just say for the time being, you were not in a time where recording was a thing or didn't even exist at all for recording games. And if it was so underrated that you didn't even know about certain things like that. So that is something to consider because, you know, back then there was no, hey, by the way, I recorded this, but like on VHS. See, I've known that there was creating and recording on VHS, but I didn't even think to record video games. I didn't even know it was possible until I saw Angry Video Game Nerd, who, or really the guy who actually plays it. I don't I don't remember if he actually talked about it when he was doing the role, but I do remember him talk about it when he was. It's just as himself, James Rolfe. And so, yeah, I mean, the thing is, I never really got to record it that I can remember anyway, until a certain point in my life, where you just take a blank VHS tape and you record something. And I did it like on TV. I never did record movies onto other VHSs that I can remember anyway. Like a lot. I knew a buddy of mine who I guess is my cousin. I'm not sure on that. I can't sort of that. That just anyway. Turns out he got AIDS. Yeah, because of a woman he wound up with. And I don't. I think his name is Brian or something. I can't think of his name, but not the same. It's not me. No. Even though ironically we do have the same name, but it was spelled differently. His was Bryan, but not the same guy. I think his name was actually Jason. Actually, I think it was the guy that was recording. I don't think about that. That was his brother Brian. But I don't think him and I really got got along too well versus me and him. But we weren't exactly enemies either. Uh, but anyway, so that is the deal with that, and I will see you all in another episode. Um, where I'm actually recording something and not just this. As I'm sure this is probably entertaining for you if you even care to watch something like this, or where you're listening to me prattle on about things that are like information about the past and whatnot. We're going nostalgically of the old days that I may not have mentioned. What was that? Something did you not just see that? Like something just hit it or something. What the hell? Huh. That poor sheep. Well, anyway, that's just how it is. Anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Until then, later.